So today I want to go over the possibility of Starfield being the best-selling game of the year. Now this topic was spurred on by Starfield once again being at the top of the bestsellers list on Steam. And this isn't even the first time this has happened, because back when they opened up pre-orders back at the last showcase, Starfield also was at the #1 bestseller spot, and it might have gotten there at another point as well. It usually was brought down lower when there were Steam sales, because people were buying actually released games that would actually be on sale. But this is also pretty interesting because, again, this is a game that has not released yet, and it's over things like Baldur's Gate 3, which is an incredibly well-selling game that is released right now. And keep in mind, this is only Steam. There are a ton of other services you can play Starfield through. You can also get it on the Windows Store. You can also get it on PC or Xbox Game Pass. You can also order physical copies through any different retailers for Xbox or PC. So this is just one fraction of all the different ways you could go about buying Starfield, and I'm sure it's topping lists at a ton of other retailers and other services that you can get the game through. And there are also some sites that try to get an estimate of how many people have a game on Steam pre-ordered or how many people own the game, and I looked at multiple of these different sites and most of them had this around 350,000 people. So extrapolating 350,000 pre-orders only on Steam, that's millions and millions of pre-orders, and there will probably be more people playing the game on Game Pass than actually pre-ordering the full version of the game. So the day one sales of Starfield, which will also encompass all pre-orders, I would probably expect to be millions of copies sold. So I do think Starfield has a pretty good chance at being the best-selling game of the year. So I went and looked up what the actual best-selling games of this year are so far. And from most of the lists I could find, it seems like the top 5 games are at #1, Hogwarts Legacy, which has sold around 15 million copies, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Diablo 4, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which is a 2022 game, kind of shows how ridiculously big Call of Duty is, and then Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Now I know Hogwarts Legacy has been said to have sold around 15 million copies, maybe a little bit more at this point, and that's a #1. I know Diablo 4 is probably a little over 10 million in sales right now, which is at #3. So Starfield would have to sell between 16 and 20 million copies to be the best-selling game of 2023, and I legitimately think they actually have a pretty good chance of doing that before the end of the year. And I think a lot of the pre-orders of Starfield is being somewhat helped by a lot of people with review copies of the game kind of soft breaking their NDAs and kind of teasing their thoughts about Starfield. Almost every single person I've seen come out that verifiably has a review cut of Starfield and has come out with some teases on how they're feeling about the game have basically all been very positive. Then you have people on like Reddit or different forums that are also verified to have the game in some way, saying that they think the game's like a 9 out of 10. So a ton of people coming out and at least teasing that they think the game is really good, I think is helping to up these pre-orders quite a bit. And when the game comes out is hopefully that good. I think a game with a big studio behind it like Bethesda, with all of the marketing dollars behind it from Bethesda and from Xbox, I think when this game is seen to be good and the reviews come out and the reviews are pretty good, then user reviews come out on the 31st as well, I think you'll see Starfield just start to sell even more copies much more quickly. And I did also want to go over this video just for some positivity around Starfield. There's been so much random negativity, a big chunk of that coming from the weird console war people. So I think bringing some positivity into this is going to be a really good thing, because there's still so many people that are super excited for this game. So many people that are longtime Bethesda players that pretty much know what they're going to get with this game and that are just super excited for another mainline single player RPG from Bethesda, which is a lot of the time close to a once in a decade type of game. And this isn't just to kind of flaunt the good pre-order sales and me thinking the game's going to sell really well, because there's also a few other things that can be heavily affected by a game being ultra popular. First off, being more DLC. The more popular a game is, usually the more developers will try to create new content for it. You create more DLC for a super popular game, a lot of people are going to buy that new DLC. It's good for the players because they obviously like the game and want more of it. It's good for the developers and the company because they get to make more money. And Bethesda very much wants to support this game longer than they've supported their previous titles, titles. They've said as much a bunch of different times. But also, if the game just sells ridiculous amounts of copies, then they may want to put more developers on the DLC. They may want to put more resources into it and give much more substantial updates to the game. And then the more people that are playing and enjoying Starfield, the more people are probably going to want to be modding it. And the more modders making content for Starfield, that's just the more content all the players get to go play. Because it's a Bethesda game, there's going to be ridiculous amounts of mods for it. There's going to be that massive community built around it, and that's just always going to be a good thing for the players. But that's all I want to go over, so thanks for watching.